all these maps kind of feel a little gimmicky. They're not just like... There is actually giant petitions in the forums, I kid you guys not, for Blizzard just to be like, well, technically Blizzard says they own all the maps they put up there, just make the map pool GSL maps. Because a lot of people like the GSL maps. They like the idea of being able to play long macro games, but Blizzard doesn't seem to be totally on board with that. I think they're kind of feeling like that's the forum vocal minority and not the majority of players. That might be why they're not listening. But anyways, instead of theory crafting, we're just going to go with what we see in front of us. So, not too awful, but, you could have pretty decent macro games potentially on this map. The one thing I really, really think that is just bad about this map, flat bad about this map, is the way they set up the center of the map. Now, I touched on the fact that there's 2 Xel'Naga towers in the middle of the map. But as you're looking at this area in the center of the map, I think it's pretty obvious you're going to know something is weird about the way this is set up. There's 2 ramps. Now, obviously, the easiest way to explain why this area is kind of set up poorly is to look at it from the perspective of, let's say, close air positions from where I spawned. So, where I'm at and then over to here. For me to take the Xel'Naga tower, I go down my ramp, I go through that brush line, and now I can go up and over to here, and the Xel'Naga tower that's obviously going to be giving me the most information is this one. So I can come up over here and down to here, or I can come up and take a straight shot to this Xel'Naga tower to try and hold both these towers so I can see the middle of the map. Because there is ways around the middle of the map, kind of, with those back doors, but there's no good ways really through the middle of the map. So, if you want to control the center of the map, you need to hold these. So I kind of have to go up and away from my base to get up to these towers. The other person comes down their ramp, shoots over, and boom, they've got a ramp. It's a big ramp, so it's not like they're going to wall the ramp off or something. But they come straight up this ramp and boom, and they have a tower forward towards my base. That is more towards my base than it is towards their base, really. So that's kind of goofy, because if we were both the same race and we both ran a unit at this Xel'Naga tower at the same time, he actually beats me to the Xel'Naga tower and can see if I have more units that are down here coming. If, say, it's Terran or Protoss or Zerg or whoever, and they're pushing out, they get up to their ramp and their Xel'Naga tower first, and they siege up or whatever on this cliff, and now they can kind of just pin me back in my base. I have to go through all these rocks and such nonsense to try and get out and get around to flank them. I can't just come straight up through them because I'm be susceptible to things like tank fire and stuff as I come up to try and push their base. Or I have to try and go down through these rocks and nonsense through the back. Either way, I got to go through destructible rocks to avoid this tower that they can more easily take and control. Works the same way for close ground. In close ground positions, this guy can come down, boom, ramp. Me, I got to come down, and then I either have to go around the backside and up, or I have to go towards my opponent and up the same ramp he would go up. So this just middle area I think was poorly laid out. I think it could have very easily been mostly flat in the middle, or maybe put a little small crevasse in the center of the map or something, and just kind of separate out the middle of the map and just get rid of this plateau at all altogether. I think the plateau was like somebody just was like, I think a plateau would be cool here. And let's make it so that the map has a positional imbalance. So, okay, let's put 2 ramps on this plateau and position the Xel'Naga towers in such a way that it's unfair for one person to take the Xel'Naga tower compared to the other person. Yeah! Mission accomplished. Blizzard, your map is now imbalanced. Good job. You did it. You have successfully managed to maintain your gimmicks in all 5 maps and found ways to imbalance at least 2 of them, being map 5 and 3, and potentially 3 of them in being map 5, 4, and 3. So good job, Blizzard. You have done it. You have succeeded in making sure that you released 5 maps where 2 of them seem pretty decent, with some gimmicky stuff in them that could be imbalancing potentially, but succeeded in completely imbalancing map 3 for all 3 races, and succeeded in imbalancing map 5 for all 3 races, and succeeded in some ways of imbalancing map 4 for all 5 races. So good job, Blizzard. You have succeeded in releasing more imbalanced maps that makes the community unsure that you know what you are doing. That's basically my overall feelings. That's like the angry session of this cast, so to speak. So basically overall, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed my analysis of the new maps. Hopefully Blizzard will recognize the poor things that they have in these maps and fix them before they release these maps, because that would probably make all the players in the World of StarCraft a much happier bunch of people if they would just fix some of the goofy things on these maps to make them really playable. Because otherwise, you could potentially get the splintering effect where a lot of tournaments and stuff like they're already starting to do just say, okay, Blizzard, to heck with your map pool. We're going to use our own maps. We're going to just make custom maps and go do our own thing because we have no faith in your ability to put out balanced maps. That's how the community is going to feel if Blizzard doesn't follow through in fixing this. So I have great faith in Blizzard personally. I think Blizzard's put out great games in the past. I think they've balanced games wonderfully in the past. I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that Blizzard won't let us down this time and will actually fix these maps before they release them all into the map pool. I think it's good to have new maps. I think any of these maps, for the most part, are better than maps like Steppes of War or Delta, maybe minus map 3 in its current position, but even still map 3 is a little better than the way Delta plays out. Better than Delta Steppes or Jungle Basin or something like that, or the current Lost Temple. I think these maps definitely do Worlds to make improvements on some of those, but they don't fix things. They kind of add new gimmicks and get rid of old gimmicks that people didn't like, and that's not really the way maps should work. Maps should be a map. They should be a battleground that feels even for all the races, where all 3 races, in my opinion, can take advantage of their strengths. Protoss can take advantage of chokes and stuff with Force Field. Terran can take advantage of cliff-type positions and chokes with stuff like their siege tanks, and places where Zerg can take advantage of open areas, which is what they need to be successful. I mean, in my opinion, a good map has all 3 elements. It has chokes for Protoss, so that Protoss can find positions where they're the strongest. Cliffs and chokes for Terrans, where Terran can take advantage of where they're the strongest. And open spaces where Zerg can take advantage of where they're the strongest, where it becomes a positional game, a game of strategy, a real-time strategy game, where all 3 races can take advantage of their respective strengths and take advantage of their opponent's weaknesses. These maps just don't 100% play like that. They have those elements in them, but each position you spawn in, and depending on the distances that are in the game, because the distances are not all equidistant based on spawn positions, make for one race to have a leg up from the get-go on the map, or one position to have a leg up from the get-go on the map, then another race or another position on the map. That's not the way a map should be, in my opinion. The map should not affect game balance whatsoever. Games should not be balanced around maps. Games should be balanced around the races, and the map should just be balanced, period. So, rant off. I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Feel free to leave comments on the episode. I have some great things coming up for you guys in the future, just on this channel in general, as well as my brother, who will be doing some casts with me later today. We got another great game for you guys. So until later, though, this is going to be Ken Nursky Decker saying peace easy. Catch you guys later.